To prove she didn't like me, Emma carried the bag I gave her on her back and wore the necklace I presented. Yet she publicly lashed out at me, insisting I had no right to harbor feelings for her. She even snapped at her parents when they told her to stop being unreasonable. Later, when I returned home for the new year with a busted lip, she taunted, "Did you get bitten by a dog again?" Under everyone's gaze, I enunciated slowly, "No. It was my girlfriend who kissed me." Her face darkened instantly. Chapter 1. On New Year's Eve, my mother urged me to come home early. I arrived late in the evening. Stepping through the door, I saw Emma and her parents waiting in the living room. Her almond-shaped eyes narrowed as she looked at me, disdain evident in her gaze. "Michael," she said, "did a dog bite you again? When I was 5, I'd insisted on playing with a puppy and got bitten, needing 3 rabies shots. Emma had reluctantly accompanied me then, and she never missed an opportunity to remind me." Everyone laughed at the memory. Touching my mouth, I realized the scabbed overcut was quite noticeable. Amid their laughter, I replied, "No. My girlfriend bit me this morning." Silence fell. Only Emma's face turned pale. After all, we'd had a childhood engagement. Chapter 2. The heavy silence lingered until Emma's mother, Mrs. Thompson, spoke up. "So, Michael has a girlfriend now?" I nodded politely. "Yes, a classmate from my school." Noticing Emma's wide-eyed surprise, I continued, "She couldn't make it this time, but I'll bring her to meet everyone after New Year." In an instant, Emma's face flushed with anger. "Who wants to eat with you all?" she shouted and stormed off to the balcony. Her mother cast me a worried glance before following her. Shrugging off the awkwardness, I wheeled my luggage to my room. Bits of their argument drifted in. Mrs. Thompson's voice carried, "You said you didn't like Michael, and now that he has a girlfriend, you're acting like this?" After a pause, Emma retorted, "Well, I still don't approve." I chuckled softly. 3 years ago at a family gathering, Mrs. Thompson had jokingly called me her future son-in-law. Emma had exploded, accusing her mother of having poor taste and insisting she didn't like me at all. Then she turned on me, demanding I keep my distance. Her father had slapped her, but Emma held me responsible. Our friendship soured, and when choosing a college, I picked one in the Southwest, far from her. I thought we'd remain just childhood friends, but now I wondered what Emma was up to. Chapter 3. After changing into comfortable clothes, I found Emma already seated at the dining table. Somehow, her mother had calmed her down, and she seemed less irritated. During dinner, everyone carefully avoided the previous topic, only asking about my studies. Just as the atmosphere relaxed, my phone buzzed. Glancing at the caller ID, I smiled slightly. "Excuse me, Auntie." "You all go ahead," I said and stepped outside. It was my girlfriend, Lily. Her sweet voice asked if I'd eaten. I teased, "How did you bite my lip so hard it bled?" "I didn't even realize." Lily huffed on the other end. "I did it on purpose." Before I could respond, a loud bang came from behind me. Turning, I saw Emma, her face flushed with annoyance. "Are you coming back to eat or not? If not, I'll start doing the dishes," she snapped. Lily overheard and asked, "Haven't you eaten yet? Should I order you some fried chicken?" At the sound of Lily's voice, Emma bit her lip. "Who's that?" she demanded. Meeting her gaze, I said clearly, "My girlfriend." Chapter 4. After a moment of silence, Lily softly said, "Call me later, okay?" The line went dead. Standing at the entrance, a heavy silence hung between Emma and me. She stared at my lips for a long time. "How long have you two been dating if you're already kissing?" she finally asked. Switching off my phone, I replied, "Almost a year." She furrowed her brow. "Then why have I never heard you mention her?" I realized she was likely referring to my lack of social media updates. After our falling out, we barely communicated, and I rarely posted anything, never changed my profile picture, and never shared anything about Lily. "I forgot to update," I said, tucking my phone away. Emma laughed lightly, almost relieved. "Guess you don't like her that much then, huh?" I looked at her, puzzled. "What makes you say that?" She shrugged. "If you really liked her, you'd talk about her." I shook my head, exasperated. "No, I really do like her." I held her gaze, wanting her to know I wasn't lying. Emma's eyes met mine, a flicker of unease crossing her face. Not wanting to prolong the conversation, I turned to leave. As I passed her, I heard her mutter, "How could you move on so quickly?" Chapter 5. 3 years ago, after Emma humiliated me in front of our parents, I was upset, but only briefly. We'd been close friends growing up, inseparable, and she'd given me mixed signals. In high school, when romance novels were popular, people joked we were childhood sweethearts. Emma never rejected my friendly gestures. She even asked for Valentine's Day gifts. I thought she liked me too, but at that gathering, she embarrassed me. The next day, my desk mate told me Emma had started dating Ryan, the class heartthrob who'd admired her for years. At the graduation party, Ryan confessed to her in front of everyone, teachers included. Though she didn't respond then, they got together the very next day. I opened WeChat and saw Ryan's post declaring their relationship. In the picture, they looked cozy. My friends, who knew of our rumored romance, bombarded me with texts. Fortunately, I didn't post much on social media, or I'd have had to explain myself to everyone. With a calm smile, I put my phone down and decided to cut Emma out of my life. I was busy that summer, getting my driver's license, learning to swim, and traveling. My mom said Mr. Thompson had brought Emma over a few times, but I was away. I saw Emma again just before the semester started. Mr. Thompson remarked I'd tanned. Emma said little, just stole glances at me. That night, I saw Ryan's post. Sometimes a childhood friend can't beat fate. What you can't have will always feel out of reach. Someone asked what happened, and Ryan replied, "We broke up." Only then did I understand why Emma had seemed so down. Still, Ryan's words confused me. As far as I knew, I was her only childhood friend. In the past, I might have gone to clear things up, but over the summer, I realized we'd only ever be friends, and I wouldn't let her affect me anymore. On the day I left for school, I powered off my phone and missed Emma's last message. Why did you choose C University? Chapter 6. College life was hectic. I took on a second major, filling my weekends. It wasn't until Emma messaged me to buy something on Panduodo that I realized I hadn't thought about her in ages. "Sorry, I don't have the app installed," I replied. After a long pause, she simply said, "It's fine." I put my phone down and continued with my homework. When the library closed, I noticed her earlier message asking about my summer break. I didn't reply. Now, as I thought back, Emma's question about moving on echoed in my head. A strange thought crossed my mind, but I dismissed it. "I don't understand what you mean," I said and headed back to my room. Chapter 7. When I returned to campus, Lily was at the station to meet me. The moment she saw me, she clung to my arm. "You must be tired. Let's get something nice to eat," she said. As we walked, I noticed she seemed off. I asked what was wrong. After hesitating, she said, "About the other day when I bit your lip. I'm really sorry. I just felt so insecure." We'd once talked about past relationships, and I'd told her about my feelings for Emma. She'd seemed okay then, but I'd seen the unease in her eyes, the same look she had now. I took her hand gently. "It's okay. I never blamed you." Chapter 8. Lily and I met in a funny way. One day, the library closed early for the holidays. On my way back to the dorm with a stack of books, a puppy bounded out of the bushes. It ran over and nuzzled my leg. I knelt to pet it, and it wouldn't leave. Seeing the collar, I knew it wasn't a stray, so I waited. The puppy pawed at me, then curled up in my lap and fell asleep. Minutes later, a girl rushed over. Seeing me with the puppy, she clasped her hands, thanking and apologizing profusely. To show her gratitude, she added me on. That girl was Lily. Chapter 9. Lily was a freshman, a year younger than me. She often showed up at the library, bringing me lunch as thanks or asking for help with courses. Gradually, she became a part of my life, and my friends praised her. I knew she liked me, but memories of Emma made me hesitant. One day, she brought me a homemade bento. My hand slipped, and it fell. I remembered the times I'd brought breakfast for Emma, who never thanked me. Once, when I spilled something, Emma threw a tantrum. Now, I instinctively looked at Lily. She was startled, but then knelt down to clean up. I helped, feeling guilty. "I'm so sorry," I said. She smiled gently. "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. I can make another one." Her words were like a breath of fresh air, melting the guard I'd put up. One day in the library, she passed me a note. "Will you be my boyfriend, please? If you say no, I'll cry." It was signed with a doodle of a puppy. With teary eyes, Lily looked up at me. I couldn't help but laugh. At that moment, I knew I had fully moved on. Who could possibly let a girl this adorable cry? So I wrote back, "Only if you promise not to cry, girlfriend." Lily wasn't the kind of girl who just took without giving back. Every holiday, we'd plan little gifts and surprises for each other, and she was never fussy. We'd always openly share ideas for presents instead of playing guessing games. She got me a full set of game skins, and I helped her plan her dream vacation for the long weekend in October. We even went on a trip to a coastal city. Lily took a perfect Polaroid shot at the beach and tucked it behind her phone case. We had an incredible time, like both a couple and close friends, enjoying 3 days and 2 nights of laughter. But on our way back, an unexpected visitor almost shattered that happiness. As we held hands walking back to campus, my roommate called. "Hey, Michael, your sister came by looking for you. She's waiting downstairs." I paused. "Which sister?" "No idea, but she's gorgeous. A bunch of guys have already tried to get her number." Right as I reached the dorm, I spotted her. Emma, in the middle of a crowd. She noticed me and was about to say hello when she caught sight of Lily and me holding hands. Her eyes instantly turned red. Chapter 11. Emma offered to take Lily and me out for coffee. As we sat down, Emma asked, "And she is?" "This is my girlfriend, Lily," I replied, introducing Emma as the girl next door. Emma's face turned pale. Lily, holding her coffee, leaned closer to me with a playful smile and said to Emma, "Aren't you a sharp little auntie?" Emma bit her lip. "Little auntie?" Sensing the tension, Lily announced, "I ordered some little cakes from next door. I'll go pick them up." She left the table. I rubbed my temples, watching the foam swirl in my latte. "When did you start drinking coffee?" Emma broke the silence. "Back before college, my mother would prepare tea for both of us, so I'd never needed coffee to stay awake. I started when I was prepping for finals. Got too tired, so I switched to coffee." "I thought you'd always stick with tea," she said, a hint of something in her tone. Stirring my coffee, I replied, "People change." I met her gaze and asked, "What are you doing here?" "As your childhood friend," her tone stiff. "I'm just here to see if your girlfriend is a good fit." The way she emphasized childhood friend had a touch of bitterness. Chapter 12. As Emma and I sat in silence, Lily returned with the cake. While unwrapping it, she casually remarked to Emma, "Michael and I both love the cheesecake and coffee here." She placed the cake in front of us, almost like she was showing off a prized possession. Emma glared at her, looking anything but pleased. Lily, sensing the tension, moved closer to me, resting her head on my shoulder. "Why do I feel like little auntie doesn't like me?" she whispered loud enough for Emma to hear. Emma's expression grew even darker. I ruffled Lily's hair and reassured her, "Nothing to worry about." Under Emma's frustrated gaze, I took Lily's hand and said, "Lily and I have plans at the library, so thanks for the coffee, Emma." I placed a $50 bill on the table and, without another glance at Emma, led Lily out. On the way back, Lily's unusual behavior replayed in my mind. Typically kind and polite, Lily rarely went out of her way to make someone uncomfortable. Today, though, she seemed to make Emma's mood worse with every little move. My instincts told me she'd figured out who Emma was. "Sure enough," Lily asked, "she's the childhood friend you once liked, isn't she?" I nodded. "Yes, that's her, but it's all in the past now." Lily, still clinging to my arm, said softly, "I trust you," though her worried eyes betrayed her uncertainty. Chapter 13. I thought that would be the last I'd see of Emma, but the next day, Lily's roommate called sounding frantic. "Michael, get to the hospital. Lily's been hit." I rushed over only to find Lily sitting on a bench, red-eyed, with Emma seated at the far end. The moment she saw me, Lily huddled into my arms, looking about to speak, but Emma cut in. "Michael." I saw her all cuddly with another guy, laughing like it was nothing. Emma held up her phone, showing me a photo of Lily with her arm around a guy, smiling as they talked. Emma muttered, "See? I told you she's not right for you." She shot me a smug glance now and then. Cutting her off, I said, "That's Lily's cousin. I know him." Emma froze momentarily, stunned. Then she huffed, "You don't have to defend her. It's not like you've ever had great taste." I replied calmly, "This isn't about defending anyone. Lily introduced me to her family when we started dating." Turning to her, I added, "If my taste were really that bad, I wouldn't have liked you back then." Emma's face went pale, her eyes welling up. "How can you say that?" Ignoring her, I checked Lily's injuries. Her tearful face looked like a kitten whose food bowl had been taken. Without looking up, I spoke to Emma. "It's time for you to head back to campus. You're not only upsetting my girlfriend, but also making her feel insecure." Watching Emma's shocked expression, I added, "Please don't come back again. If you do, I'll have to speak to your father about this." Chapter 14. Emma left looking devastated. That evening, I walked Lily to her dorm. She chatted as usual, saying she wanted to ride the Ferris wheel with me the next day since it was supposed to be clear. She said it'd be the perfect night for stargazing. The next day at noon, my mom called sounding concerned. Emma told me she saw Lily hugging another guy. What's going on? A surge of frustration hit me. Frustration at Emma for twisting the truth, for constantly meddling. The thought lingered all day, and when we finally reached the Ferris wheel's peak, Lily tried to kiss me, but I was too distracted to respond. When I came to my senses, Lily was looking at me, tears shining in her eyes under the lights. Before I could apologize, she spoke first. Michael, is something bothering you? Let's take a few days to cool off. I'll wait for you. Lily, usually so cheerful, was shedding tears because of me. Guilt settled heavily on my chest. Though clearly upset, she still held my hand as we walked back. Before heading inside, she looked down, her shoulders slumped. Michael, the things I give you, they're the things I want too. Chapter 15. I kept replaying Lily's words in my mind after she left. On weekends, we'd usually spend all our time together, but that day she went alone to the lab. I found myself wandering into a bookstore, a rare occasion. At checkout, I sensed someone watching me. Looking up, I saw a guy I didn't recognize. He was holding a book and walked over. Out of courtesy, I smiled. But he said, I know you. I blinked in surprise as I'd never seen him before. He smiled back. From Lily's social media. Pointing to the counter, he added, I used to have a thing for Lily. Chapter 16. Seeing my startled reaction, he chuckled. Relax. It never worked out. I'm just saying I tried. Then he shared his story with me. They were classmates in high school. Lily was popular and admired for her looks and grades, a name everyone in school knew. Meanwhile, he was the classic campus heartthrob. At the time, people thought they'd make a perfect match, constantly encouraging him to confess. Caught up in the momentum, he started to like Lily and eventually confessed to her after school one day. But to his surprise, Lily turned him down with a serious response. We shouldn't date just because people think we should. Real love is about knowing your own heart. It wasn't until he met someone he truly cared for that he understood Lily's words. He admitted, looking back, it wasn't real attraction to Lily. I was just going along with what others said, caught up in the idea of dating someone popular. He looked over at me and continued, Lily never shared what happened between us. She kept it private to protect my pride. I see you in her social media often, and knowing Lily, I figure you must be a good guy too. After he left, I opened Lily's profile. Her background photo was a picture of us together. Every post was set to public. Scrolling down, I realized that before we were together, her posts were just about her daily life. But since last year, every update had something about me. Casual shots of my profile, photos of me dozing off in the library. Lily's friends clearly knew who I was because she told them about me. Michael is always too engrossed in studying to remember to eat. So I have to bring him lunch, she'd say. No wonder my roommate kept saying everyone knew I was Lily's special someone. I glanced at my own profile. My sparse feed was mostly required reposts from school clubs, with no trace of Lily. No wonder Emma assumed I didn't care about her. Remembering Lily's sad expression yesterday, I began to understand. Chapter 17. I called my mom. Mom, did I ever tell you about my girlfriend? There was noise on her end, likely from a lively mahjong game. Her response, however, struck a nerve. When did you ever tell me? You just announced you had a girlfriend during the new year. Michael, listen to me. Be careful about who you choose. Last time, Emma said she saw your girlfriend hugging some other guy. I interrupted. Mom, that was her cousin. Don't believe Emma's stories. Mom paused. So, what's your girlfriend like? She's the best, I answered firmly. After a moment of silence, she said, Michael, I know you. You may feel deeply, but you only show a fraction of it. If you're calling me now, I bet you've had some disagreement. You're not one to express your feelings. But relationships require that. She suddenly hung up, leaving me staring at my phone, bewildered. I'd always thought that love was a private matter between two people, not something to display to the world. Lily had never pressured me to post about her or flaunt our relationship. She was always like that, never demanding anything from me. But now, I realized that while Lily loved me wholeheartedly, I hadn't given her the security she needed. Emma's interference only made her insecurities worse. I knew I had to talk to Lily. Chapter 18. But before I could reach Lily, Emma found me. I was surprised to see her outside my dorm building. "I want to talk," she said. I realized it was time to put an end to things with Emma. Her endless meddling would only fuel Lily's anxieties. I agreed, but I sent Lily a message before heading out. "Emma wants to talk. I'll be back soon." This, I thought, was my first step in showing Lily that I cared. We went to a Sichuan restaurant near the back gate. Knowing Emma couldn't handle spicy food, I ordered several spicy dishes anyway. "I can't eat spicy food," she protested. "Then order something else for yourself," I replied. Her eyes filled with hurt. "You never used to talk to me like this. In the past, I would have been considerate, but not this time. We still haven't addressed the fact that you lied to my mom about Lily. It's not a lie if it's true. How can you be sure he's her cousin? Do you really know her family?" she challenged. "Am I stupid?" I replied, frustrated. "Pretty much," she shot back. "You've always been clueless." I laughed coldly. "So you think you're the only smart one, and everyone else is just naive?" Realizing her words, Emma stammered. "I didn't mean it that way. I'm just trying to protect you." "Mind your own business," I replied dismissively. She reached for my sleeve, but I pulled back. "Why her? Wouldn't it be better with someone you've known forever?" I could hear the implication in her words and clenched my teeth. "Do you even hear yourself?" "Yes, I'm crazy," she burst out. "I regretted it ever since I started dating Ryan. I thought about you the whole time we were together. I like you, but I just got angry back then with all the jokes my mom and others made." Her outburst made things clear. That comment from Ryan's old post about childhood friend versus fate was about me. My disgust toward Emma only grew. If she didn't like Ryan, why date him? Ryan used to tell me, "Michael, I really admire you. You're smart and you're a great guy. But in terms of Emma, it's fair competition as long as she's single." I remembered his bright smile. He chased her for 3 years, yet their relationship lasted just 2 months. How unfair was that? Emma continued, "Can we start over? Don't you want me anymore?" Before I could answer, the table behind suddenly burst with the sound of playing cards. "Can't beat that." Emma's face darkened. I replied, "If you truly liked me, you wouldn't have humiliated me in front of everyone back then. You've always put yourself first, leaving me with your leftover feelings. Is that even love?" Her eyes reddened, and before she could respond, the same voice interrupted again, "No." After a moment of silence, she said, "I'll wait for you no matter what." And just then, the same voice added, "Hurry up already. We're all getting old here." I stood up and walked over to the next table. The person curled up in the booth, watching the game on her phone and looking up at me with a guilty expression, was Lily. Chapter 19. Lily and I walked back to the dorm together. I asked, "Enjoying causing trouble?" Lily pouted, "Who told her to try and steal my guy?" I chuckled, "Who says she even stands a chance?" She replied, "The textbooks all say that these melodramatic moves can win someone over." I held out my hand. "Which textbook?" Lily's face turned red as she reluctantly handed over her phone, where an open TXT file titled "Defeating the Childhood Friend, Winning the Heart of the Popular Guy" was displayed. I laughed out loud. "You call this a textbook? Why don't you send this to your professor?" She snatched her phone back. "Don't be like that. I still need some dignity with my seniors." Lily was known for her polite, distant demeanor in the lab, but with me, she was like a little puppy wagging her tail. Only I knew how affectionate Lily could be. After a moment of silence, she whispered, I was afraid. The book said I needed to play some tricks to make you realize how much I mean to you. I was scared that if I went too far, you'd actually leave." With her head down, she added, "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have eavesdropped on your conversation." I reached out to touch her face, feeling the warmth of her tears on my hand. My heart flooded with guilt. I pulled Lily into my arms and said, "You don't need those tricks. I'll love you anyway." Lily froze in my embrace. "Lily, I'm sorry for not showing you how much I care," I said. Chapter 20. Following Lily's example, I changed my profile's background to our photo and introduced her to everyone I knew. Everyone now knew that Lily was my beloved girlfriend. I learned from her how to express my feelings openly, no longer afraid to let the world know. Once I needed to use Lily's phone to register for an account. She handed it over without hesitation. Moments later, a string of messages popped up from Emma's number. Curious, I opened the chat. Emma had sent Lily over 10 photos of the two of us from years ago. Lily's response was a single photo of herself leaning into my arms. Emma's angry, hurt replies followed as she spat insults at Lily. Lily's reply read, It's not my fault you couldn't hold on to Michael. You always expected him to tolerate your selfishness as if he'd never leave you because of your history together. But Emma, no one is irreplaceable. Michael deserves something better. Emma went silent for a long while before replying. What do you know? I've known him since we were kids. My bond is deeper. Lily's answer was quick. If time alone is what makes love, then you should marry the earth since you've been together forever. Then, as if she'd found an opening, Lily added, Goodbye, little auntie. Don't forget to bring a generous gift for our wedding. Emma responded with a bitter emoji, then blocked her. Chapter 21. I rarely posted on social media, but on graduation day, I shared, June isn't just for graduation gowns, it's for my bride too. The post included a photo of my graduation picture and our marriage certificate. Friends from high school flooded the post with likes. Many commented on how I'd always been one to make big moves. Emma was the first to like it. Moments later, her profile icon went dark. Chapter 22. Speaking of the proposal, it ended up being a bit of a funny mishap. Lily and I somehow had the same idea at the same time and pulled out rings at the amusement park, where we'd first declared our love. We stared at each other's rings for a few seconds before bursting into laughter and hugging tightly. And so we exchanged rings on the spot. Our families met for dinner afterward. Lily's mother, who's from City C and has a feisty personality, couldn't stop talking about how Lily needed someone calm and steady to balance her out. Later, back at the hotel, my mom pulled me aside. Lily is a great girl, Michael. You better treat her right. I chuckled. You're saying that after just one meeting? Mom replied, You can tell from her parents. Her father looks at her mother with so much love. Her mom may be a bit fiery, but she still acts playfully with her dad. That's real harmony. Kids from families like that know how to love, and I can tell she's taught you a thing or two about showing your emotions. Thinking about the times I'd been reserved with Lily, I felt a twinge of guilt. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Michael, I bought tons of sparklers. Come on, let's go play. I opened the door, and Lily stood there with a bright smile. I took her hand in mine, grateful that it wasn't too late. Chapter 23. The next time I saw Emma was at my wedding to Lily. I was adjusting my suit when she suddenly appeared behind me. I waited for her to speak, but instead, she pulled a red envelope from her pocket and handed it to me. Here's a wedding gift, or you could just come with me right now, she said with a hopeful look. Under her intense gaze, I took the envelope and said, Congratulations. You're the first to give your little nephew a gift. He'll remember this. Emma's eyes widened. Lily is pregnant? I smiled and nodded. Yes, Emma. You're going to be an aunt. She went quiet, then said, Have you thought about it? What if Lily's feelings waver in the future? Are you really ready for marriage? Chapter 24. It's interesting. I've always been a reserved person, one who doesn't speak much. In high school, I'd see proposals on TV and wonder how people could say such mushy things without feeling embarrassed. But when the moment came, I had no hesitation. I simply pulled out the ring and said the words that felt so natural. Lily, will you marry me now? As Emma questioned me, I looked her in the eyes and answered, Emma, you're mistaken. Love isn't just about being constant. It's about falling in love again and again. Every time it's Lily. Every time she meets me at the library. Every time her eyes are full of me. Every time she fills our life together with her presence. I fall for her all over again. Just the way she looks at me. That alone makes me love her more. I finally understood the courage that comes from a healthy relationship. Glancing at the bridal gown peeking from behind the door, I smiled. Every day with her is a gift from fate, and I'm willing to face any uncertainty in our future as long as I get to enjoy our present together. I may have been unlucky with Emma, unable to find harmony with her, but I'm lucky that Lily patiently taught me how to show my love. Lily finally emerged from her hiding place, her face flushed. She reached out her hand, and I took her bouquet and placed it in Emma's hands. My goddess of fate is here. Emma, I wish you all the happiness too, I whispered as I passed her. Learn to speak kindly in the future. Behind me, Emma murmured, There won't be anyone else. I didn't look back. Chapter 25. After the wedding, my mom told me Emma had flown abroad that very day, leaving her parents fuming. Occasionally, I'd get messages from her overseas, just small greetings that never crossed any boundaries. Emma seemed to be holding on to the past, but I wasn't responsible for her pain. Every time I received one, I'd show it to Lily. She'd guess who it was and always huff about not caring, then snuggle into my arms and pout. One time, while using Lily's computer for work, I noticed a folder on her desktop. Curiosity got the best of me, so I clicked it open. It was filled with photos and videos of us. Though I didn't recognize the first video, I played it. In the video, Lily held her dog, looking rather glum. "My little prince, can you complete your mission?" she asked, patting the dog's head. It wagged its tail. A moment later, a boy appeared on the screen. It was me, walking past with a stack of books during our second year. Lily nudged the dog forward, whispering, "Go on. Remember to stick to that big brother for a bit. If you do well, I'll give you a treat." The dog hesitated, so Lily gently pushed it toward me. She murmured, "Go on. If you do this, you'll have a dad someday."